Well, this is awkward.
Kevin, why is it awkward?
So, okay. So as part of the ongoing upkeep of the International Space Station, NASA has contracted several companies, SpaceX and Orbital, to send up basically supply ships to the International Space Station.
Food run.
Food run. So this was on Tuesday, October 28th, that Orbital's third resupply mission was supposed to take place. And so Cygnus 3, that was because their capsule is named Cygnus, was taking off from Wallops Island, Virginia. And approximately 6 seconds after launch, there was some kind of catastrophic failure, and the entire rocket came back down onto the launch pad and exploded, causing massive damage to Facility 0A, and basically setting the forest nearby it on fire. And
was not happy.
They've gotten reports of debris washing up on some of the shores nearby. It's a large-scale problem.
Yeah. No one was hurt, though.
Right. No one was hurt. It's a robotic mission.
Yeah.
And the International Space Station has enough food to last until March 2015 if no other ships get sent up.
I think they just said something about another resupply mission from Russia just went up.
Right. A Progress module from Russia just went up, so that has food as well. And people have been talking about how one of the SpaceX launches in December could have its payload switched out for a supply run, and that could take care of this problem. Now, the investigation is still ongoing, so there is no official statement. Any ideas from anyone else or even this show is pure speculation.
Speculation.
Speculation. We need that as like a banner.
Speculation alert instead of spoiler alert.
So, my speculation... When you look at the video, there is one plume that comes down explosively from the rocket at first, and then you see a cluster of explosions on the bottom of the rocket, and it falls down. So the motors that this vehicle was using are the NK-33s, which are old Soviet engines that Orbital was able to purchase from Russia fairly cheaply. Now, this may seem a bit sketchy, but it's not.
Yeah, I know.
The specifications are actually really good. They built them as good as you can make this type of rocket, basically, for this size. And the only competitor is a US one. Let's see, that's the RD-140, right, which is under the control of the United Launch Alliance, which is Boeing and Lockheed, which may be very expensive.
Yes.
While Russia, you can get the same performance for much cheaper. So, one of these old rocket motors were tested at NASA's Stennis facility down in Mississippi, I think. We can overlay if I got that state wrong. But
it's my job.
That motor did fail a few months ago due to metal fatigue because they were so old.
That's what I was going to ask. How old is this thing?
They were actually produced during the Soviet space race when they were trying to get to the moon.
So that's 60s, 70s.
40 years.
Yeah.
Now, yet again, that sounds sketchy, but these motors have been used for decades. They are built to work well. So this is an exception, not a rule. So it really isn't going to change much about what rocket motors are used for vehicles.
Right. It's a bad thing to happen because you don't want any of your equipment to explode. You don't want to miss a supply run to astronauts that don't have an easy way of getting food or anything. So, but they're okay. This is obviously going to be a huge investigation, but it's not like they're going to point blame at any. It might be at the metal,
because Orbital has done this successfully before. They had the 2 other official resupply missions, and I think they had another 2 test flight supply missions before that. They already have a good track record.
Right. They actually said on their Twitter account, which seemed kind of odd, was that they said there was a vehicle anomaly. That's what they called the explosion. It was a vehicle anomaly. So it's a bit of an understatement, but
that's the term.
That's just PR speak for we don't know what happened yet.
We can't say anything.
We can't say anything. Right. We're looking into it, but we can't give you any details. So that's fine. I'm sure this all gets sorted out, and we'll be back. They'll be back running up rockets and stuff without any problem.
Right. Although Wallops, that specific facility, is definitely going to need to be repaired and overhauled.
More than just a coat of paint is going to be needed, that's for sure. But on a lighter note, for all you people out there who like to get your drink on, guess what? You can get space whiskey. No, you can't get space
you
whiskey.
Can't.
You can.
Someone can.
Someone can. So back in 2011, they actually sent up some vials of whiskey up to the International Space Station. For science.
For science.
For science, no less.
Very small, very small.
Very small. Not for the astronomers, for the astronauts to get drunk on. That's not why they sent it. They're actually looking to see how the chemical properties might change in zero-G, well, microgravity, I should say, compared to being on Earth, especially how it would affect, I think it was the wood barrels that whiskey is put in.
Stored in,
yes.
But they weren't actually put up in miniature wooden barrels. It was much more secure kind of container.
Yeah, I don't think you could send up a wooden barrel to the International Space Station and hope that everything is just going to stay fine in it. Anyway, they recently were brought back down after being up in space, and now they're going to be tested to see, compared to Earth whiskey versus space whiskey, to see what the differences are by whiskey specialists, people with PhDs in whiskey science. Now, don't you wish you had that job? I don't. Kevin, do you wish you had that job?
Yeah.
Nah, me neither. But you know the job that I do like having? This one, which pays nothing. But if you want to help pay us, or at least help us get better equipment, you can support the show by buying t-shirts and mugs over at outofspacetv.spreadshirt.com. Woo! That was the thing coming up.
Sound effects.
I can do those. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and commenting on this video. Kevin, tell them things.
You can also watch older videos over here to my side.
Yeah.
And you can also put comments below, so you can comment on what you think of various rocket companies using international engine design.
Or do you want some space whiskey? We can give you a recipe. You can also click the subscribe button below, so that way you can always be up to date on the freshest Out of Space TV content. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
See you out there.